think we good. I think we good. I think we good. Yeah. 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 Y'all already know what's good, y'all. What's good, y'all. What's good, y'all. What's great. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Lovechild. I want to thank y'all for tapping in each and every Thursday and every Sunday. We appreciate it over here. Thank you. Thank you for your support. Help us continue with the growth of the show, and we're going to keep rocking. Quick shout out to my co-host Santana and my guest co-host Jokey from Jokey Entertainment. Shout out to them bros. Shout out to the chat. We got day ones already in the building, badge holders already in the building. So make sure y'all continue to support. Thank y'all for tapping in. Quick shout out to some of our badge holders and day ones. Shout out to Ebony in the building. Shout out to Winter, Tree Munir. Shout out to King P, Culture, and our very own Rowan Jack, man. We appreciate you tapping back in, man. Hey, brother, don't worry about nothing. You know you always welcome. This is family. This is home over here, bro. This is home. So whatever, however, you always pull up. Appreciate you as always, man. Them badge holders, man. Rowan Jack showing up, showing out, man. We appreciate you as always, man. What else am I missing? Y'all, we on the road to 20,000 subscribers. Again, y'all, continue to like, subscribe, hit that support, hit that share button, hit that all notification bell. You just never know when I'm gonna pop up, because I do pop up during the day at any given time. Talk about random stuff. We talk about everything over here, whether it's entertainment, entertainment, sports, medicine, world related, social commentary. We talk about it all. So again, I want to thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. Again, don't forget to hit that follow button. Also, there's memberships. We got memberships. We got badge holders in the building. We got members in the building, y'all. So different memberships are granted different access. So again, make sure you tap into those memberships as well. Also, I want to thank the presenting sponsor of the podcast, which is Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentary, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. Button hyphenated sign snaps.com. That's button hyphenated sign snaps.com. All right, y'all. I always got somebody texting me when I go live, so I had to tell them, hey, cut it out. You know what I'm saying? I'm on live. I'm with the peeps. I'm with my peeps. So hope y'all ready. Can't let Prince outshine me. That's a fact. I can tell y'all about to. I can tell y'all about Iran. It sucks. We spoke about we spoke about the war on Iran, U.S. versus Iran, last episode, and we were so surprised that there's no more war. Like Donald Trump, for whatever people don't like about Donald Trump, he's standing on business. So you know, so shout out to that. I thought it was gonna be a little long, drawn out. After 2 days, it was like, yeah, we're gonna pack y'all up. We're gonna get you together. So we definitely talked about that last episode. Is Terry Crews texting you? Tell him I said hi. It's damn sure it's Terry Crews. He definitely texted me. Well, I can't say that. I can't say that because a lot of these celebrities will sue you over everything. So I would say Terry Crews AI version is texting me right now, knowing I'm on live. So don't hit me on live. Long live the king. All right, y'all. Let's get into it. Let's get it popping, y'all. Let's have a good time tonight. Oh, real quick, I want to thank y'all for supporting my new EP that's out right now on all music platforms. My very new EP called Winners Loyalty. Again, called Winners Loyalty. Y'all been supporting it on all music platforms, on every single music platform. Y'all been showing up, showing out, whether it's Apple, whether it's Spotify, whether it's SoundCloud. Y'all been showing up and showing out to support my new EP. For those who haven't heard it yet, it's called Winner's Loyalty, 6 songs of pure fire. If you're a real hip hop fan, make sure you go tap into Winner's Loyalty after the show. All right, y'all, let's get it popping. You already know how we do it. First segment of the night, popular opinions. And y'all already know these are not my questions. These are the world's questions. So stick to the answers in the questions. This segment is brought to you by OUV Records. You can go to Instagram right now at OUV Records and stay in tune to the latest music and merchandise. The label motto is create, document, and inspire. So make sure y'all tap in. All right, y'all. First question of the night. Which movie, which movie would make a better series? Which movie would make a better series? Number 1, The Wood. Number 2, Vampire in Brooklyn. Number 3, Booty Call. Number 4, Love Jones. Again, let me know what y'all think in the chat. Again, the question is, which one of these movies will make the best series? Number 1, The Wood. Number 2, Vampire in Brooklyn. Number 3, Booty Call. Number 4, Love Jones. Again, let me know what y'all think in the chat, man. For me, all these movies was classics, to be honest with you. Every single last one of them. Winner's Loyalty is on. Yeah, it's a fact. It's on Amazon as well. It's on everything. It's on everything. It's on everything. Yep, it's on all those platforms. Yeah, so I love all these movies. In particular, Rowan Jack said it in the chat. Vampire in Brooklyn. Also, King P said in the chat. They going with Vampire in Brooklyn. Vampire in Brooklyn is a little near and dear to my heart. For those who normally watch this show, know why. I have the greatest idea for a new Martin Lawrence and Eddie Murphy movie, where Martin will play a character off of Martin, and Eddie Murphy will reprise the role of one of the characters off Vampire in Brooklyn. So I think Vampire in Brooklyn would make the best series out of all of these movies right here. The Wood is a great time. It's a great time, but it's feel like more of a period piece. I don't know if that could go on and on, right? And I feel like we get some sort of version of it through different shows. Booty Call. How many booty calls are you going to have before you try to make it serious, right? And Love Jones would be a great series. Love Jones would be a great series. But I'm still gonna go with Vampire in Brooklyn. The chat mainly went with Vampire in Brooklyn. I also saw Booty Call as well. Booty Call would be interesting as a series as well. But all these movies was great. Like I said, Love Jones, I think for me is a close second in my eyes for me personally, because Love Jones got so many ways that you could just, you know what I'm saying? You could dip and dabble. It's dealing with love. We don't see love in today's world like that amongst relationships. So people do love seeing love on screen, right? So again, I went with Vampire in Brooklyn. The chat went with Vampire in Brooklyn. The rest of the world at 40% went with The Wood. The Wood. I'm actually surprised about that. The Wood. The Wood would be the Wood would be dope, but I feel like we get some sort of version of that. In my personal opinion, I really do. I really, really do feel like we get some sort of version of The Wood. So that's why I'm saying that. Okay. Quick shout out to Rowan Jack again. Man, he just blessed some people with some memberships. Appreciate you, brother. Some thank yous are in order. Y'all need to send some thank yous. Shout out to Joseph. Shout out to Ryan. Shout out to Critical. Shout out to my cousin Olive. And shout out to John Smith. Send that brother some thank yous. He hooked y'all up with some dope fire memberships. So y'all better show that brother some love. Effing miss y'all. Sorry. Wabi. Webony. Oh, he meant to. I know it was a typo. Yeah, it was a typo. Yeah, it's all good. It was a typo. Yeah. Yeah, but again, thank you, Rowan Jack. Your contribution does not go unnoticed, and we appreciate you wholeheartedly, man, for real. Thank you. And send that man some thank yous, y'all, because that was that showing love all the time, man. All right, y'all, moving on to our next popular opinion question. Okay. Best Ice Cube movie on this list. Best Ice Cube movie on this list. Number one, Barbershop. Number two, Friday. Number three, Boys in the Hood. Number four, Higher Learning. Again, best Ice Cube movie. Number one, Barbershop. Number two, Friday. Number three, Boys in the Hood. Number four, Higher Learning. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Yeah, I'm already seeing what's that bar? No, that's Boys in the Hood. All these movies are excellent. All these movies are excellent Ice Cube movies, whether it's his movie or whether he was starred in it. Because Boys in the Hood wasn't an Ice Cube movie, but he starred in it. Higher Learning wasn't an Ice Cube movie, but he starred in it. Friday and Barbershop, obviously are Ice Cube movies. All these movies are a great time. All these movies are a great watch for different reasons, might I add. I love the Friday movie, but I'm, in the minor. Well, I won't say I'm in the minor. I've heard more people agree with me lately, but after rewatching all the Fridays, I feel like Friday 2 is funnier than Friday 1, the original Friday. But Friday is still top tier funny movie legacy, so I don't want to debunk that at all, and I'm not, because it's already a legendary movie. So for me, I'm gonna go with the chat. I'm gonna say Boys in the Hood. I saw Boys in the Hood. I seen Boys in the Hood so close, but I gotta go with the chat is going with Boys in the Hood, man. They going with Boys in the Hood. Boys in the Hood. Boys in the Hood is such a great movie. The message, obviously, the acting, the cinematography, overall, and the time that it came out, it was just so pivotal. And it didn't end with some grand, happy ending. It felt like it was real, right? Barbershop, funny movie, very underrated. Friday, I just feel like, I don't know, the older I get, the less attached I'm to Friday. But again, I don't want to debunk legendary movies, because when I was a kid, I watched that movie at least 100 times, like literally 100 times, right? And Higher Learning is that movie is divisive if you let it be divisive, because you're dealing with real, and people have different perspectives, and people through their experience see the world in their lens. And until you're forced to sit in a room that has a different perspective of you, and y'all can be able to have a disagreement or agreement based on just the truth, not a perspective of the truth, but the truth in general. And if we laid in that, we wouldn't see what we saw, but the purpose of the movie was to see what we saw. So again, I'm going with Boys in the Hood. The chat went with Boys in the Hood. The rest of the world at 29%. So that means this was OD close. OD close at 29% went with Higher Learning. That one is a bit of a shocker. Like, the acting in that movie, it is top tier. Lawrence Fishburne with the Jamaican accent, top tier, right? Omar Epps, probably, I don't want to say probably, Omar Epps outacts everybody in every other movie on this list. He outacts them, hands down. I mean, some of the movies are comedy, but he still outacts them, right? So I could see that. And then the people around the movie was really getting busy with the acting. Regina King. It was a lot of people from Friday in Higher Learning, now that I think about it. Busta Rhymes. So it was a really, really great movie. So I'm not mad at that, to be honest with y'all. Not mad at that at all. Shout out to Pal in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Good night to you. Hope you're ready to have a good time. We over here having a wonderful, what's today? Thursday? We having a wonderful Thursday. I think it's Thursday. Yeah, it is Thursday. It's Thursday. Yeah. So we enjoying our Thursday. So thank you for tapping in. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. Hollywood Need to Ask Us. Again, we came up with the segment because Hollywood have been giving us a lot of trash movies with no creativity, no ideas, no type of lineage. They just trying to get the bag. It's not even creative. So we came up with this idea because we got better ideas for movies and movie series. So my Hollywood Need to Ask Us for this episode is I want to see a family reunion movie. I want to see a family reunion movie, comedy, might I add. And I don't mind you adding like another plot twist to it, but I want it to be based in comedy. So I want a family reunion movie based in comedy. I want it directed by Keenan Ivory Wayans. I want it starred with Eddie Murphy. Yeah, Eddie Murphy's my go-to, y'all. That man is he's touched, bro. Pause. Like he's just a funny dude. He don't even have to make a face and I'll start laughing. That's how funny Eddie Murphy is to me. So I need Eddie Murphy in this movie. Samuel L. Jackson. I think they will be a great pairing to play brothers. Their cousin will be played by Jamie Foxx. A love interest played by Taraji P. Henson. And this other person could play the daughter, which is Greta Onadago. I hope I said her name right. But y'all probably most know her as she plays on All American. Oh my God. Y'all know what I'm talking about. She plays on All American. She's married to the coach. Now he's the coach. He was the quarterback and now he's the coach. She's married to him, you know. So I think that cast right there will be the foundation for this movie, and I think it will be OD funny. And if they wanted to add like another piece of the genre, you know, to this, I think it would be funny too. If they wanted to add comedy, murder mystery to a family reunion, and you got this cast, you can make this work. So I think this would be outstanding and funny, and that's what I need. I need a family reunion movie with this cast right here. Again, Keenan Ivory Wayans directing, Eddie Murphy stars with Samuel L. Jackson, Jamie Foxx, Taraji P. Henson, and Greta Onanago. I hope I said her name right. I hope I did. But that would be an absolute fire movie. A good Terry Crews complete. Come on, Rowan Jack, man. Don't start, man. Don't start. Don't start. Don't start. Please, not a top. No, 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 no. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And I don't want people to, like, all right, so I'm happy that the fact that Tyler Perry is in a position where he could do the things that he's doing as far as making movies, have his own location, cameras, production, the whole 9 yards. But I've been completely out on them Tyler Perry movies because them characters, I have yet to see a Tyler Perry character that I see in myself. I've yet to see a Tyler Perry character that I know somebody like them. I've yet to see a Tyler Perry character where the women act like the women that act in those shows. Like, it's just, it hints on a bit of ridiculousness, you know? So that's why I didn't mention Tyler Perry. No Tyler Perry for this. This is, I want to laugh and I want to have like a good murder mystery. But, you know, oddly enough, Tyler Perry is very talented actor in his own right. But I don't know if he's writing all the scripts, but it just don't be hitting for me personally. So I'm out. You know, I'm cool. Good. Terry Crews could play the daughter. No sense. Santana is my big. You stupid. You stupid nonsense. Santana is my big boy. You crazy. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. Rowan Jack threw me off right there. That's funny. That's funny. All right, moving on to our next segment, our must-see segment, y'all. This is some of y'all most favorite segment on the show, where it's must-see movies, must-hear music, must get on your read list book. So make sure y'all tap into this segment. All right, first must-see movie. Make sure y'all tap in. It came out in 1994, directed by Darnell Martin. Donna Martin also directed movies like Prison Song and Cadillac Record. This movie stars Lauren Velez, John Cena, Rita Moreno, Griffin Dunham, Jesse Borgello, and Thomas Melly. This movie is called I Like It Like That. Fire movie. Y'all gonna have a ball watching this movie. It's so entertaining where you have a young lady from the neighborhood so in love with her husband and they trying to make it work. It's a young couple. He ended up watching the rest of the movie. I won't ruin it for y'all. So make sure y'all go tap in to see I Like It Like That. Second must see movie. This one is actually a documentary. Came out this year, 2025, directed by Eva Arner. This is produced by HBO. It's a documentary, like I said, and the documentary is called Surviving Ohio State. This documentary was so mind blowing, and this carries a trend in certain schools. Uh, at this particular school at Ohio State, from 1979 all the way to the late 90s, early 2000s, they had a team doctor who oversaw basically all the programs. And I don't want to ruin it for y'all. Y'all gonna have to watch the rest of the documentary. Make sure y'all go tap in to see Surviving Ohio State. It is a must watch. Third and final must see came out in 1991, directed by Michael Miller. This movie stars Bruce Willis, Damon Wayans, Halle Berry, Billy Blanks, Bruce McGill, Barta DeJalo, Eddie Griffin, Taylor Negron, and Morris Chestnut. That's a you hear that? You hear that cast, right? This movie is called The Last Boy Scout. Boy Scout. Fire movie, y'all. Fire movie. Uh, this movie is about a young cop who happens to get on a case where a young lady dies. The young cop meets the boyfriend of the lady, and you have to watch the rest of the movie. It's a must watch. Make sure y'all tap in to see The Last Boy Scout. So, fire movie. So make sure y'all tap in to these movies. Shout out to Rowan Jack. Our Class by Chris Hodge. Non-fictional about class in prison. Speaking and making a theater play about prison life. Is that a documentary, movie, show? What is that exactly? What is that exactly? Rowan Jack, our class, non-fictional class. Yeah, let me know what that is. So is because I want to know if that's like a movie or a documentary style, or is that the book? Okay, I would check out these movies. Oh, the book. Okay, the book. Okay, I'm definitely going to take a good look at that. Yeah, make sure again, y'all. Make sure y'all tap in and check out that book as well. I'm going to check out that book myself. I'm going to check that out. That's a fact. I've been on my reading heavy, y'all. I've been on my reading heavy, so I'm gonna check that out. Okay, I'll check those movies out. The Last Boy Scout was fire. Yeah, that The Last Boy Scout is very underrated. Very underrated fire movie. Very underrated. All right, y'all. Moving on to our must here. Again, y'all know me. I love that R&B. I love that hip hop, classic stuff. So whether it's new or old, it's gonna be dealt with a different type of vibration. I'm gonna give y'all great music every single time. So the featured artist that y'all need to go check out, put these 3 songs on your playlist. The group is called Rude Boys. Again, the group is called Rude Boys. Must have song on your list. Number 1 is written over your face. Fire song, y'all. Fire. Trust me. Trust me. You're welcome. Number 2, Are You Lonely? Number 3, I'm Going Through. Put these songs on your playlist. These are fire songs again by Rude Boys. Number 1 is Written All Over Your Face. Number 2, Are You Lonely? Number 3, I'm Going Through. So make sure y'all put those songs on your playlist. All right, y'all, moving on. Check the chat. The last Boy Scout was fire. The last Boy Scout was a fire classic. That is a fact. Shout out to Solo in the building. Appreciate you tapping in, my brother. Appreciate you as always, man. We got the chat rocking, man. We got the thoroughbreds, the real folks in the chat. Love that song. Yeah, written all over your face, right? Like I said, for those who don't know about written all over your face, and I know the title sounds crazy and creepy now, but it's still a fire song. You're welcome. It's going to get the mood popping, fellas. It's a cheat code. Ladies, if you're not trying to get it popping and that song come on, you need to get out the room expeditiously. Because something going to happen. Somebody going to get pregnant up in this piece when you play It's Written All Over Your Face. And they got that groove to it. You know what I'm saying? So you're welcome. Trust me, it's a cheat code. So make sure y'all tap into that song or to those songs. All right, y'all. Moving on to our must read. Y'all know I told y'all I'm a big read guy. Rowan Jack he just suggested a fire book that I'm going to tap into as well. But I got a book for y'all to tap into. It's called The 12th Planet. This book is by Zachariah Stinson. Fire book. I spoke about this topic on past episodes about the gods and where we come from. And some people believe in Jesus Christ. Some people believe in God. Some people believe that we actually came from monkeys, which is crazy to me. You know, if we came from monkeys, then why we start coming from monkeys? But that's a whole nother conversation. Cool. So everybody has their own belief system. I believe that we all come from God. God is the creator, right? If you don't believe, then that's fine. We all here to believe what we believe. No judgment made, right? But this particular book highlights the fact that us as, you know, the human civilization, we come from God, but our gods was in a form of what is called the Anunnaki. And it breaks down the different levels of the Anunnaki, and the parents of Anunnaki, the children of Anunnaki, and the kingdom of Anunnaki, and the planet of Anunnaki. So make sure y'all tap into this book. It's a very great read. I'm actually working on a project that is dealing with this type of stuff. It's a fire project. I can't wait to tell y'all. Like I've been holding in this secret for a whole year. I've been working on this for a whole year, and I don't want to tell y'all too early because it's going to take me about another year for y'all to see it. I know you like, damn, what takes 2 years? When y'all see it, y'all gonna be like, oh, all right, we gonna tap in. So I don't want to like build it up too crazy yet because again, it's not ready. It's still at the infancy stages. I'm still working on certain things, and then I don't want people to hear the idea and try to, you know, take the little cheese back to the, you know, to the hole. So I'm gonna keep it on the wraps, but it's dealing with the Anunnaki as well, and that's not telling it at all, might I add. It's just got a little, you know what I'm saying? So we can't wait. I'm telling you, it's when y'all see the idea, when y'all see it, I'm telling you, it's so fire. Like you ever have like a big secret that you just want to tell the whole world and your peoples and your friends, and you can't say nothing? You're like, yo, but it's like, wait till they see this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like them clothes for the first day of school where it fit just right. It's brand new, so you know it's gonna sit. And you just look at your clothes the night before that first day of school. You like, damn, they don't even know what's about to happen. I'm telling you, it's like that. So I can't wait to share it with y'all and show y'all. So make sure y'all tap into this book. Again, it's called The 12th Planet, and it's by Zachariah Stinson. So make sure y'all tap in. All right, y'all. Y'all already know we got a new segment. This is the 4th episode we had this segment. This is a segment I should have added a long time ago. This segment was birthed because I covered a story about a young person who a person who was on the rainbow side of the game. In Turkey, they saw this man being rainbow acting, and they locked him up because he was rainbow acting, right? So one of our day ones, one of our badge holders, you know, it was always been an inside joke that anytime something crazy would happen, because Turkey laws were so egregious, we're going to send them to Turkey. So we added a new segment called Send Them to Turkey. And we also got the t-shirts, might I add, available. Links in the bio, the new Send Them to Turkey t-shirts. So we have the new segment. All right, y'all. So again, type in T or type in the chat. Type in T or type in the chat. All right, Send Them to Turkey or nah. B. Simone breaks down revealing that she has gone broke. And she really seen the brunt of that when she was in Bloomingdale's and couldn't afford the things that she had going on in Bloomingdale's and had to settle for H&M. Send her to Turkey or nah. Send her to Turkey or nah. Let me know in the chat. So again, you put T or in the chat. Send them to Turkey or nah. Let me know what's going on, chat. Send them to Turkey or nah. Yeah, I'm already seeing them T's. I'm seeing T's already. I'm seeing T's already. Me personally, I'm gonna send her the first class ticket to Turkey. I'm sending her to Turkey because at the end of the day, we live in something called reality. And this is something that she had to learn because she's going through it, right? Most people don't realize, especially when you have the money, you doing this, you doing that, all your responses, well, I'm rich, I got money, da-da-da. Money runs out. At some point, money runs out. But most people don't realize money is a tool. It's not real. If you understand that money only makes you more the person that you are when you have it, and it reveals the person that you're not when you no longer have it. So you can't let money be your master. So in this particular instance, this is what we're seeing. We're seeing this woman letting money be her master. Because for some years, she's been documented saying a lot of outlandish things regarding money, regarding how successful she is, regarding how rich she is, regarding which cars and trucks that she drives. And having success is a great thing. Having success is a beautiful, monumental thing, right? It's another thing to display it in a way where it's not about alienating people around you. It's about still being connected to the people around you. Because if you're up and the people around you are not, you know, the meek shall inherit the earth, right? So it doesn't make sense to put on this air as if you're better because you have more money at this present time and point. Because at some point you're going to lose it because it's a tool. It's not meant for you to have it forever, especially if you don't know what you're doing. Going on shopping sprees when you have money shows that you don't know what you're doing with money. Buying luxury cars and items shows that you don't know what you're doing when you have money. Buying items that you never have is cool, but you have to learn how to procure that before you do that. And we see it too many times in the culture. If somebody gets about $800,000 off the back, they do something stupid like buy a house. And you say, dang, Ash, ain't buying a house a great thing? Ain't buying a house, it's a house. It makes money on itself and da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, that sound cool. But why not take that money, then leverage it? And then live off the credit. So now when you do purchase a house, you're not doing it with your cash. So you still have $800,000 in your bank. See what I'm saying? Or create a policy. Well, that way now when you're withdrawing from your policy, you don't lose on the mortgage, on your interest rates. And you could treat it as a bank and you could cap it. So that way you would never spend $800,000. You would never even spend that. And I'm just using $800,000 as a reference. It just shows that most times when the culture get money, we buy things that we feel are assets, but things happen in the world. Like the housing market could crash, and they have a thing called a buyer's market and a seller's market. We're basically in a market where now we was in a seller's market, but now obviously because of the way of the world is right now, the economy is turning back into a buyer's market. So what do that mean? That house that you bought for, instead of 800,000, you bought it for 400 and thought you got a great deal on the house. Now you basically trying to break even because you can't sell it for 400 no more. You bought it for 400 and put more money into the house because nobody just buy a house and just be chilling. No, you put money into the house, correct? So that way, when you sell it, you get you get that bread, right? But if it's a seller's market, if it's a buyer's market, then it doesn't benefit you. So learn how to do these things where you could use and utilize your credit. You could learn how to utilize policies. So this is why this matters, y'all. So we have to understand that. So being that money is a tool, and then we show it like in our culture, we just want to be up on you. We not, as a culture, we not, I don't want to say we, I'm going to say certain individuals is not, I don't want to say you just give somebody something, but you're going to help somebody with an opportunity. You get what I'm saying? Like, so at the end of the day, I'm sending her the turkey because for years she displayed a level of just, and it's not even the opulence or confidence, because no, we don't stress over stuff like that. But the energy that you carry with it, now when you fall off, it's like, oh, well. Now that you don't have that, do you feel like less than the person? That's why I say money is a tool. Because if tomorrow morning, if you wake up with 100,000 in your account, what does it change for real? What does it change? You're going to take care of your bills, probably take care of some debt, cool. But you're going to go buy something. You're going to go spend it on something. You're going to go somewhere. So what did it really change? Now, what if you lose it all of it the next day? Money is a tool. So I'm sending her the turkey. Shout out to Benito in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Paris in the building. Are you rich? Brother. These are the IRS airwaves, and you got the nerve to ask me something like that? I don't answer them type of questions, bro. I live in a hovel. I live in a cardboard box. Okay? You hear me? I don't answer them questions like that on IRS airwaves. I make $2. Okay? I live in a box. I got a bicycle. And some alkaline water. That Rowan Jack swear is it's a little Grey Goose in there, but it's not no Grey Goose. I don't drink. It's alkaline water. So I hope I answered your question. Poor people need guns. You stupid. He said poor people need guns to buy Bitcoin. Shout out to you, buy guns. Y'all almost got you. Nah, you caught me good. Alright, y'all. I didn't know B Simone had money like that. She could have called Rich and the Cannon paying like that. Yeah, for a while now, B Simone have made mention that she got $1 million. She had $1 million. She said that on several occasions. She wanted the world to know she had $1 million. And I never understood that. Like I don't know. Like, I'm the type of person, if I was to win the lottery for 250 million or 500 million, you would never know. I'm just quiet like that. It's like, what money? I don't know what you talking about, bro. Like, you lost me. I don't know what you talking about. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. You know what I'm saying? This is me. I'll be what they call like an angel investor. When somebody is doing something that I like and I want to bless them in some sort of way, I'm that type of person. But I'm not the type of person to be like, yeah, baby, we over here. Who want to come spend this 300 million with me, baby? Come. Nah, I ain't like that. I'll keep it quiet. You know what I'm saying? So I just never understood that she took that route. And normally when people take that route, they're trying to prove a point to other people that they feel that they have to get one up against. Like, you have to tell people this to show, yeah, I'm successful. People know when you're successful or not, regardless if money is attached to it. So by you saying you have $1 million, it's like, okay, but success is success. And it doesn't have a real money value attached to it because money's not real. We hear stories every day where people start an idea and turn that idea into an idea and go to $100 million. We hear it every day. We see it on TikTok. We see it in different spaces, in Twitch, and people have ideas. They utilize the idea, and all of a sudden, 2 months later, they made bukus of cash. So again, money is just a tool. So being successful is not tied down to just money. So shout out to Rowan Jack again, showing that love. Super chats are tips, no tax on tips. Man, hey man, these are the IRS airwaves. I don't know nothing, Rowan Jack. I don't know nothing, but I appreciate you. I don't know nothing. Okay. I don't. I'm not rich. Nope. Taxman on my neck. No. I bet. But I do hope that tax YouTube for nearly 30%. Yeah, it's wild, man. Like the YouTube space is wild, man. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. It's wild. But we here though. We here though. Alright, y'all, moving on. Send them to Turkey or nah. NBA players, the NBA draft, the first round was last night, and a lot of NBA players that was drafted had like the hell no when they got drafted. So for example, there was a young kid, I don't want to say their name, but there was a couple kids that got drafted to a couple cities. When they called their name, they did the close-up. So normally when they do the close-up, the guys are crying, you hugging mom, you giving hugging the dap to pops, you hugging your girl, your grandma, you go up to the podium, you get your props, you get your picture with the commissioner, and you cool. You saying thank God for the opportunity. I'm not gonna let the city down. I'm gonna show up, show out. These brothers was like, what? Hell no. Nah. Like, you could really see their face. And one kid, they asked, was like, yo, did we see we see you had a certain face expression? He was like, yeah. I was like, what the F? Like, what? Like, how weird? Like, what? So, do we send them to Turkey or nah? Or is that just, an age of immaturity? Do we send them to Turkey or nah? Let me know in the chat again. Remember, type in T for send them to Turkey. Type it in for don't send them to Turkey. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Let me know. Me personally, I'm going to send them to Turkey for this one. The chat is saying don't send them to Turkey. I'm going to send them to Turkey. The reason being is because, I don't know if it's the NIL space in college sports where the guys are making money now. They're becoming millionaires before they even get to the NFL, NBA. But you signed up for this. When you get drafted, you don't know where you're going to go, bro. You may have an idea because you work out for certain teams. This team tell you one thing, this team tell you another thing. And to be honest with you, it don't matter what they say. It's about what happens. Obviously, we seen that with the NFL draft where Shedeur Sanders, who was supposed to be a top 2 pick, all of a sudden in the last week went from top 2 to top 15. Then teams made trades. Now he out of the first round. Now he a 5th round pick. So now in the NBA, you have a lot of kids who don't even want to go to the city that they being drafted to. bro, you can't get mad at the city for wanting you or for the organization for wanting you. If you don't want to go to that city or go to that team, guess what? Take your name out the draft, bro. Take your name out the draft and be like, yo, I want a private workout for this team and this team only. But the reason why these dudes go to the draft, because money is attached to it. When you get drafted, you get a certain amount of guaranteed money, and is a certain amount of certain amount of time that they have to keep you. If you go in undrafted, like, yo, we could cut you tomorrow if you can't even act right. So a lot of these guys do get into the draft so they could get that guaranteed money. So being at that case, you understand you don't control where you go. These teams could tell you anything. So hey, it is what it is. It's a part of the game. This ain't the first draft in NBA history. This is like the 70-something draft ever. So there's been other players that have been drafted before you, so you know the process. So I'm going to say send them to Turkey because of that. In the chat, y'all showing them a whole lot of leniency and love. Y'all showing them the grace. Ain't mad at that, but I'm going to say send them to Turkey for that. Get oh, come on, Rojack, get that rainbow money. The Prince buddy. Yeah, I'm telling they make so much money. I don't think people like really realize, like, a lot of basketball players, they don't even spend their salary when they do it right. They, like I said, they use their salary as a placeholder to get a certain type of credit. They live off their credit and they use their salary just as a savings. And then on top of it, they get something called a per diem. Basically taking care of personal effects, which is like almost like another $2,500 a week that they just make. It's like the team just like, yo, here's your per diem. So they don't even need to touch their money for real. And if they got an endorsement on top of that, it just bukus of cash. Bukus of cash. Now, we ain't even talk about, events where they do signings and stuff like that. It's a lot of money. So they understand the process. You don't have control of which team you go to. It is what it is. Simple and plain. You could end up in Chicago, or you could end up in Brooklyn, or you could end up in Utah. It is what it is. Just a part of the process. So I'm going to send them to Turkey. The chat, y'all show them love and not send them to Turkey. All right, y'all, moving on to our next send them to Turkey or nah. 2-year-old boy is in a coma after a passenger throws him in the air in the airport and on his neck in the airport lounge. Let me know. Send him to Turkey or nah. I'm going to get straight to it. I'm sending this man on a first class ticket to Turkey. And in this instance, I wish I would be in Turkey because I would volunteer myself. I'll be like, yeah, bring him in here with me. Bring him in here with me. Because that right there, if y'all seen the video of this, is nasty work. This is not something that was just reported. The video is out of this man picking up a random 2-year-old boy, picking him up helicopter style and threw him on his neck. And when security came, they, was worried about the little boy, but ain't nobody put hands and feet on this man in the airport. Nobody. He should have came out the airport in handcuffs, bloodied up from the eyes, nose, lips. He got rips all over his shirt, pockets ripped. Like, I don't even understand how he was able to come out of there unbeaten. Like, he should have caught them beats. He should have caught the beats by Dre, seriously. So I'm hoping this man is catching the beats by Dre right now. Somebody giving him the oop wop in jail. And when I mean by oop wop, I'm talking about left fist, right fist, left fist, right fist, left fist, right fist. I ain't talking about nothing else. I ain't into all that other stuff. But I'm talking about beat downs. I'm talking about suplex. I'm talking about leg drops. I'm talking about the headlocks. I'm talking about the noogie. I'm talking about, busted eyes. I'm talking about all that. Anything regarding that man, because what is a 2-year-old? No 2-year-old toddler deserves that. None. And it wasn't even his kid. Some random kid that was just standing there with his folks. Now I don't know where his folks was at actually, because the folks wasn't necessarily in the frame in itself that I saw, but he did with somebody, and the people that he did with didn't even put hands and feet on this man. So I'm sending this dude on a first class ticket to Turkey, and if I was in Turkey, I'm volunteering myself. I want him in here. I'm gonna teach him something called the Mike Tyson beat down. It's called the Mike Tyson dance. I'm gonna hook you up. I'm gonna show you these steps, and everybody gonna know that you learn these steps, because that's crazy and nasty work. Send him to Turkey and get stuff. There's something that a jury will let fly. There's something. I hope they don't let this fly. I hope they don't let this fly. This man should be plastered on every news station, all social medias. People need to see this guy face. He should be shamed, and he should really catch the Mike Tyson dance, bro, like on a whole nother level, because there's no way we allow this type of treatment to happen to our babies. These are our kids, yo. Like, nah, man, I'm not with that. If it's a random person's kid I seen get done that to, he's catching the beat down, bro. And I just don't understand why he didn't get that treatment on the way out. Like, I don't even understand how he could leave the airport and somebody not suplexing him and somebody else is not jumping off a kiosk somewhere with the elbow. I just don't understand. I just don't understand. That was cute to get stuff part. Nah, they would say ass open was self-inflicted. They could say whatever they want. He just got to catch that beat down. That was cute. The get stuff part. Oh, yeah. You know, so I like I said, send him to Turkey. All right, last one. Send him to Turkey or nah. A 43-year-old man, Damien Olgier, snuck into a stable to have sex with a Shetland pony. He avoided jail time. He was captured on camera walking out the stable without trousers, I guess without pants or drawers. And instead of going to jail, he's going to serve 18 months of community service. He has to do 30 days of some sort of rehab, $300 fine, and a restraining order. It can't be that bad out here, bro. It can be. I'm going to send him to Turkey, too. Again, send him, put them T's in there, put them N's in there, T or N, if he should go to Turkey or nah. I'm saying he should go to Turkey for that. That is wild. It can't be that bad, bruh. It can't be. Ain't no way that you looking at a fine woman, be like, who's the Shetland pony in the back? Ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way. I don't need. We all are different, and I guess we all got different attractions, but I'm gonna judge that one. For you to look at an animal and be like, I will wax out the animal, that is crazy. That is crazy. Damn, that Shetland pony got a fatty. What? What is wrong with you, man? This is very weird. Very weird. I know. There are women in the world who got this stuff together. You got women in the world who's a big cray-cray. That's still not enough to say, yeah, nah, I want this Shetland pony. That's wild. I just don't get it. Like, people that do engage in sexual activities with animals, it's a different type of breed, bro. It's a different type of breed. I remember when I was little, they said that AIDS spread the way that it did in the U.S. and in the world because there was a man who had a pet monkey, and he used to have sex with the monkey, and then he started having sex with women again. Mind you, all these years, meaning like in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s, you know, our parents' time, grandparents' time, for some of y'all, great-grandparents' time, having all this unprotected sex. The worst thing that can happen is if you catch, you know, VD, get the shot, and you go about getting 10 other people pregnant, right? No problem, no muss, no fuss, right? Now here comes HIV, AIDS, and this is how it was induced. So you mean to tell me that somebody had a pet monkey and he was treating the monkey so good that the monkey was allowing a human to doggy style or to ride? Do you know how strong a monkey is? Not an ape. I'm not talking about a big brolic. I'm talking about a monkey. Monkey's a strong dog, bent over or riding. I know that's hard to imagine, but the ridiculousness that they tell us, and we was like, oh, word, he was smashing the monkey, huh? Damn, and then he went after women. If you got a proclivity for monkeys, you don't go from monkeys to women, bro. Once you in the monkey game, you in the monkey game for life. So this is what you're telling me. No, not believing it. Send this dude to Turkey. Send this dude to Turkey. It's not that bad out there, bro. It's not that bad. It's not that difficult. It's not. Send that man to Turkey. Send him ASAP to Turkey. What the hell was... Roll Jack, stop. He said, what the hell? The pony was wearing... Don't tell me he crept up in that barn and the Shetland pony had a thong on. Like, yeah. He brought in the Diddy oil and he was just ready to go. Like, nah, come on, man. It ain't that bad, bro. It ain't that bad. It ain't that bad. There's a lot of beautiful, classy women out there that you could meet. Y'all do y'all thing, you know what I'm saying? Run it back again. They run it back again, you know what I'm saying? Have a good time. There's no way that you feel like women are that difficult, because I don't think this is a woman thing. I just think that he's just a very freaky boy and he has a proclivity for animals. There's no way that you say, yeah, nah, forget Tamika, I want Shetland pony. Ain't no way. Send him to Turkey. I think he got off very easily, in my opinion. He only got the 18, what it says, 18 months for community service, 30 days of rehab. How you gonna rehab this dude that has sex with a Shetland pony in 30 days? Okay, makes sense. And $300 is a fine. And then put the restraining order. The dude made moves when y'all had a camera. And y'all worrying about a restraining order? Your screen didn't freeze. It don't make sense. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. I'm sorry, our next segment. This segment is brought to you by Button Snaps, again, with the finest of movies, shows, documentary, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, Button Snaps. That's button hyphenated sign snaps.com. Again, that's button hyphenated sign snaps.com. First hot topic of the night, y'all. This is a question. Are we taking legendary rapper Nas and other legends' legacy for granted? I personally asked this question based on the heels of our last conversation of what we saw with Jim Jones and Nas. Jim Jones says Nas is not, relevant in today's age. He, based on what another kid said about Jim Jones, feeling like because he's of his age, he don't listen to Nas. He listens to more of Jim Jones. He know who more Jim Jones is. So that with that, Jim Jones felt like he's more relevant in the music space today. He also said that he will smoke Nas today in a rap battle. So are we taking our legends and legendary rapper Nas for granted? That's a question that I have for y'all in the chat. Let me know what y'all think. Type in those answers. Me personally, I think as a culture of hip hop and in sports that we need to stop with this ridiculousness. It's a fun conversation to compare players and rappers, but it's only fun when they have similar skill set. It's only fun where you can see and hear where it can go. It's a fun conversation, but we have to do it in a way where we no longer disrespect these legends just to make a point or to raise somebody else up. I don't, like I said before, I don't agree with Jim Jones that he's better than Nas, ever been better than Nas. Jim Jones has actually turned himself into a real artist. He has turned himself into a real rapper based on his last, I would say, 3 albums. Me personally, one of my favorite ones that he has done was Wasted Talent. Thought it was a fire album. Capo was also fire too. But it's not Nas level work, ever. That's not a diss, that's just what it is, based on my opinion, if we're talking about lyrics. And he was alluding to lyrics. Now, if we're talking about overall music, then I'm not going to say he's right, but I'm going to say that music is a preference. We have a preference for music. Some people like this style of rap. Some people like that style of rap. There's people, and I say this all the time, and this is no diss to this artist, what I'm about to say. There's people in this world that love rap music that think Pitbull is the best rapper they ever heard. And that's based on his sound, his voice, his lyrics, and the type of music that he make for the type of demographic that he makes. Would they be wrong? No, because that's what they like. So music is preference based. But when you talk about lyrics, lyrics is not preference based. That's like talking about sports. Who runs the 4-2? That's what lyrics is in hip hop. Who runs the 4-2? If your lyrics don't run the 4-2, then you're not better. It's just that simple. So we need to stop disrespecting our legends, even though we could shoot. Like, yo, there go a legend right there. We're going to shoot for that greatness. We're going to shoot to be better. And there's nothing wrong for shooting to be better, but you have to let the fans kind of like dictate where you're placed in the legacy. Because you can't tell the fans where you are. It's like, nah, bro, I hear your music, or I seen you play. You can't tell me where you at. Like, this is where I feel that you're at based on what I see. And you can't, and the people could definitely be wrong, but that's just their preference. Sports, very preference based. Very preference based. Even though it's not supposed to, because it's about being, athletic, about winning, about being a leader, about being all those things in one. Sports is something that's supposed to be judged like immediately because everybody's on the same playing field as far as having an opportunity, right? Because we see stars be made on the field, off the field, whether we knew them or not, right? So the point that I'm making, we need to stop taking people for granted. Like, why can't, because this is how I think. Regardless of relevancy, regardless if you're still releasing music or still playing the game, once you're a legend, you're always a legend. Once you're a legend, you're always a legend. So there's no such thing as being irrelevant. You're always going to be relevant because you're a legend. Case in point, Patti LaBelle, Dionne Warwick, Anita Baker, Luther Vandross, all these artists were way before my time. Way before my time. But They're still legends because when you hear that music, you hear the talent, you hear the emotion, you hear the skill. So I'm not going to fix my mouth to say, well, Big Daddy Kane is not relevant, so I'm better because, because he's not as relevant as I am or whatever the case may be, right? When Big Daddy Kane is a whole legend, he can never not be relevant. Big Daddy Kane still performs and does shows is the point that I'm making. So for the fact that when you're a legend, you're always relevant. When you're a legend, you're not fighting to be successful or to make a name for yourself because you made a name for yourself. You already cut through. Being a legend, you can't take back being a legend. So we see it in our community so easily where our legends, people feel like they could touch it. You can't touch it. It's a legend. You could be a better version of that based on your work and based on just the people. If the people feel like you're better, then you're better. Simple and plain, but you just got to continue to do the work. You don't have to say it. Let the people say it. I don't know, maybe because I have an upbringing in boxing and football and basketball. I grew up playing sports. I got into music more so early 20s, even though I've been around music all my life. But because of growing up in the sports world, I never said, I'm good. Other people said, yo, he's... Same thing in music. You don't have to say it. Let your talent speak for any and everything else. I remember when I first started doing music and like my very first few projects, they hard to listen to. And the reason being is because those are my growing pains. I had to find my voice. I had to find my style. I had to find where I'm strong at and where I'm great at. I had to find all these different things. I had to invite in the critique so I could find my style. And through them growing pains, I learned what I need to get better at and what I just need to be like, yeah, it's cool. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's how you get better and stronger. And you have to let the people speak up. Because ultimately, every artist is doing it for the people. Like I remember when I first started releasing music and I'll come from the studio and be like, yo, I don't like that song. And the producer would be like, yo, but I like the song and I think other people will like the song. And I recorded the next 20 songs like that. Like, yeah, I don't like it, but yeah, other people won't like it. And then when I started doing shows, people was liking the music, but I did not like it. I was like, I don't even listen to it. When I'm home, I don't listen to it. And then I got with a different producer, and the things that I was vocalizing and saying, he was really hearing me. And he's like, I know where I see it, I hear it, boom, boom, boom. This is how we're going to do this. And then when we started doing that, I started listening to my own music. So much to the point, I'm not listening to other artists no more. I'm listening to my stuff 24/7. And that played a part in other people listening to it even more. It's that development and understanding critique. And letting the people not necessarily dictate who you are, but the people is going to just basically say, I like this music regardless of anything else. Like, for example, Janet Jackson music is fire. She's a legend. She's amazing. Sade stays in her own lane and makes a certain type of music, and it feels grown. Janet Jackson music feels grown, young. It feels everything. It gets everybody. Sade, her music for that grown and sexy, baby. But within her music, you can hear the talent. You can hear the skill level. And because of that, they're both legends. Because the people decided. But you've seen Janet Jackson more than you've seen Sade. At least I did. So again, Let your talent be your talent. And we can't continue to let people disrespect our legends. Can't. People work too hard, put on for too long, and we can't, as a culture, allow other people from the culture disrespect our legends. It just doesn't make sense, especially when they have no business doing it. They gotta be shamed for it so they don't do it again, because it's ridiculous and it makes our culture look weak. So that's what I'm asking at in the chat. They saying absolutely. They saying Eminem, legendary songs. If I Ruled the World, I Know I Can. Wonderful, unforgettable songs from Nas. That is a fact. Nas got so many dope songs. But again, I'm not from the era of Patti LaBelle and all those other artists. And the reason why I bring them up because they're legends. And even though I'm like, yo, turn that new Patti LaBelle on. What I'm going to say, Coco Jones is better than Patti LaBelle? No diss to Coco Jones, but Patti is Patti. She's a legend. And I don't have to denigrate Patti LaBelle to say, yo, Coco Jones is popping. She got a great voice. She got dope music. So we got to stop doing that. We have to learn how to give each other flowers without denigrating other people. Now, for artists say, yo, I feel like I belong in the conversation with these other artists based on my music, then that's a fair thing to say. That's a fair thing to say. I feel like I'm in the conversation. If you go back and listen to the music, listen to the music quality, listen to that beat, listen to what I'm saying, listen to my message. And I feel like I'm in the conversation. So that way you're not showing no disrespect to the legends, because you can't disrespect legends. Can't say, I'm more popping because I'm relevant. Because as we see, relevance come and it goes. It has a time limit. Staying power matters. Staying power matters. Nas been popping ever since the 90s, and he's still popping still to this day. Nas still release albums. He still release albums. His last album just came out last year. So we got to stop doing that. We got to stop doing that. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. College football 26 is on the way. They just released a deep dive. I'm so excited to have this new game. I've been a big avid for College Football 25. I'm still mad at EA for not inviting a brother down to the EA building, knowing that I'm only like 10 minutes away. EA, send a brother an invitation so that way I could get on the sticks. Pause on that early 2026. It only would be right. You know what I mean? Like come on, what are we doing? Like, it's crazy. But after the deep dive, I'm more excited to play the game because they introduced some new style of play in the game. Of course, within the game in itself, the features. I'm a big team builder guy. I probably have like 11 teams that I done built on. If you tap into my my PlayStation 5 profile, y'all can hit me up. I'll give it to you. I don't care. Ashley Lovechild Mojo on PlayStation. Y'all can find my profile. I'm gonna be there chilling with no shirt on, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, you tap in, and then I could send y'all some. If y'all on the college football wave, I could send y'all some of my teams, and they some fun teams to play with. But after the deep dive, this game feels and look like it's going to be better than 2025. So I can't wait. They added the coaches. I'm not sure if they added Coach Prime Deion Sanders and Coach Belichick from New England Patriots that now coaching the North Carolina Tar Heels. The reason why I don't think they're a part of the game, because if Coach Prime is a part of the game, they would have showed that. So, you know, but all the other coaches are in the game, head coaches, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. So I'm looking forward to playing this game. In Team Builder, they are allowing so many different things that's going to make Team Builder better. And they added 2 more teams to college football, which is Delaware University and I believe Northwest Missouri. So it's going to be a great time. I believe the game come out sometime next week or the week after that, if I'm not mistaken. But I can't wait to play the game. It's going to be so fire. And again, y'all, if y'all trying to cross play, y'all trying to get this work over here, Ashley Lovechild Mojo on the PlayStation. Y'all look me up and we get it popping. You know what I'm saying? We get on the stick to join the league. You know what I'm saying? Have a good time. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Prosecutors drop kidnapping, and arson, and trafficking charges against Diddy. Whoa. Well. Woo. That's crazy. Again, y'all. Prosecution dropped kidnapping, arson, and trafficking charges against Diddy. So they brought all these people to court. This whole thing been a circus. Their main thing was trafficking. Their main thing was kidnapping and arson. This in itself was supposed to put Diddy away in jail for the rest of his life. This was supposed to be bigger than the R. Kelly case. R. Kelly ended up getting 30 years in jail. So Diddy was, based on all those charges, and it's a RICO, or was a RICO, or this was going to be for life. Based on what they have, domestic violence, which undoubtedly he's guilty of. We seen the video footage. We seen it. He's guilty of that. That's a fact. That was terrible. Nasty work. But they didn't prove of kidnapping or arson or trafficking. They consider trafficking if you have a significant other or somebody that you deal with that lives in another state and be like, hey, come out for the weekend. You know what I'm saying? Let's have some fun for the weekend. That's considered trafficking now. Flying somebody out is considered trafficking now. Arson was tied to Kid Cudi where his car was blown up. They didn't really establish that Diddy did do it, even though he was at Kid Cudi's house. He was there when Kid Cudi wasn't there and was like, yo, I'm at your crib, I'm waiting on you. But they could not prove that he was the one that actually, caused or did the arson to Kid Cudi car. The trafficking, I thought was interesting because on several occasions, they said, whether they was in the U.S. or Miami or they was in another country, they had people that flow out for the freak off. People that we know, other artists, producers, actors, like, yo, we about to freak off. I got the Diddy oil. Pull up. Diddy oil and narcotic. What's up? We out here. So I thought they was gonna tie that to that case, and they end up dropping it. So this is a very big win for Diddy. Now, from the very beginning, and this is documented, I said this case was open, shut. Because when the feds got you, they got you. Their success rate is through the roof. They already made their case. All this other stuff is just formalities. Diddy's team did an amazing job at putting the burdens of proof on the feds. And they couldn't do it. And then not to mention, Cassie's testimony was not helpful to the feds. It wasn't helpful because every time they speak on something, it opens that door, and now Diddy's team can ask that question based on the door that Cassie opened. So the fact that, while she was together with her husband, after she done left Diddy, she went back to Diddy. And it was a time when they was on their FO, and the husband done called, and she like, yo, I'm with Diddy on FaceTime. So her testimony didn't help. And what a lot of the, I don't want to speak for the jury, but in the eyes of the community, we see Cassie as a victim of domestic violence that particular time. If you ask majority of the community, we don't see Cassie as this helpless victim that was trapped in this web that she could not leave, because she left several occasions. So again, the culture and the community don't necessarily see her as this helpless victim. She had the strength enough to sue him for 30 mil and got it. So at the end of the day, I don't know if that was for desperation or if that was her being mad that he's moved on with another woman. Who knows? But at the end of the day, she's definitely a victim of domestic violence and that nature. And that will not be glossed over. And I'm not going to gloss over that. He was dead wrong. He should, face the penalty for that act that they caught him red-handed. It is what it is. So you got to deal with that when you deal with that. But because her testimony not only set the record straight for herself, but it set the record straight for him as well. So she did not help. And I thought, based on her testimony before the case started, I thought she was really really through and through, like she was just in a drug coma type of thing. And it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. So they didn't drop the case, but they dropped the kidnapping charges, the arson charges, and the trafficking charges in Diddy's case. R. Kelly doesn't have that $1 billion to pay people off. Goes far, especially when people start realizing what they can go for a few million or hundreds of thousands. I never thought, that money Diddy got, the case has opened and shut. I will say this. If you notice, in the R. Kelly case, everybody or majority of the people that spoke about R. Kelly or against R. Kelly was all people that used to work for him. When he was doing all these alleged acts or whatever the case may be, all these people was there. All these people was like, oh, what? Oh, all right. That ain't me. Or they insisted it. Like, it was one particular girl that was, she was a teenager. She was like 16. But even that is kind of weird because the statute of limitation is different for each state, right? So, but she was in her late teens, and she would bring her friends to R. Kelly's apartment. And she said supposedly she went out, came back in, all the friends is in the room, and they all bent over and they all doing stuff with R. Kelly. So she ended up bringing more friends after that too. So if you didn't like him doing that, then why would you bring more of your friends? Even if he asked you. And then at the end of all, you were saying, hey, yeah, don't forget to buy my book. I got this new book, you know what I'm saying, about that. You know what I'm saying? If y'all want to read more about how, I basically help R. Kelly get more girls in here, yeah, go get the book. Because even though I was hired by R. Kelly and was his backup singer for like the last 15 years, but go get my book though. Like, so there's a big point to what you're saying, Paul. There's a very big point. Very big point. Sorry with not will. Now, I mean, at the end of the day, this particular case, I thought it was open and shut. I'm not going to lie. Because again, the feds have a different type of agenda. The feds' agenda is to defund you, make you less richer than you are. It's basically asset recovery or asset control, I would say, where they really drain your assets so that way when it comes into the business world, you can't do what you was once doing and you can't, move on. They're going to manage you. They're going to keep you tight. And I think that has a bigger push. It's a whole nother higher power to that, even though did he help him do it himself? Yeah. Because if he wasn't in these situations, they wouldn't have a case. So He lit his own fire, but at the end of the day, there's a higher power that's gonna really be like, yo, let's go after him. Because everybody in the culture who's of prominence all has some sort of knock or try to have some sort of knock against them. So, but I thought it was very interesting. Very interesting that they dropped those charges in the case. So all you have left is really the domestic violence, and that does not carry a life term. So, all right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. A fan is banned from all MLB games here on out, lifetime ban, because he was taunting player Ketel Marte. He was taunting the player Ketel Marte and giving comments about his late mother. So he's been banned from all MLB games. Good for you. Good for you. Good for you. Like, I don't understand how people that pay top dollar go to these games and lose their mind. I don't understand how they do that. I just don't understand how you will go to a game and honestly, if it's not about the sport, then yo, bro, keep it chill. Like, it's nothing wrong with going to the game and heckling a little bit. Like, yo, bro, you trash. And the only reason why you saying that for real is to give your team the advantage, right? But you're not gonna sit there and be like, yeah, your mother this and your mother that, and then the mother has passed away. And I know what that feel like. My mom passed away. Don't ever think you safe talking about my mother. Don't ever think that. I will get tricked out of my spot. I'm gonna let you know that right now. My co-hosts normally talk about being tricked out your spot. I would get tricked out of my spot. You talk about my mother. I'll shit out of here. Seriously, I'll choke shit out. I don't talk about my mother. You see her right there behind me. I do not play that. And the thing is, he wouldn't have said that, obviously, if he was face to face with this man. This man would body slam you with the quickness. So again, there's nothing wrong with heckling about the sport. And what I mean by that is this. If you're gonna heckle like, yeah, bro, you suck, you can't hit the ball. You can't catch. That's heckling. That's a part of the game, right? You got people there to doubt you, right? Cool. You trying to give advantage to your team. Cool. But you start talking about people's mothers, kids, and the wives. Like, yo, bro, you know you want to say this to me in real life, bro. So keep it cool. So his teammates had to surround him because he was so overtaken by emotion that he just didn't know how to respond. And most times when people cry, it's not because they're scared. It's not because they're like weak. I wouldn't say they're not scared, but they definitely are not weak. If they're scared of what they're going to do. They're crying because they have to suppress that physical emotion to not beat that ass. You know what I'm saying? Some people get that mad when they can't beat your ass. And they just start crying because there's so much emotion. So I'm glad his teammates poured into him in the time that they did, how they did it, because that emotion could have easily escalated, come up out the stands, jump over the little board, you know what I'm saying, and get the Beats by Dre. So that easily could have escalated, and I'm glad his teammates did what they did, and I'm glad MLB stepped in the way that they did, because he doesn't deserve to go to any games based on this. Heckling is cool, but this is OD and a bit personal, so I'm not for that. That's completely whack. Not for that. Shout out to Nick in the building. Appreciate you tapping in, man. But yeah, I'm not for that. I'm glad they did that. Glad they did that. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Jocelyn Savage. Jocelyn Savage, better known as R. Kelly, one of R. Kelly's fiancés. Jocelyn Savage has come out of hiding to confirm she's not R. Kelly's sex slave. She reveals that they will be married, they are engaged, and she will continue to be there and support him while R. Kelly's in jail. Her parents still have been out and active, saying that they haven't seen or speak to their daughter. But this woman is a grown woman. Like, she's a grown woman at this time, and she's choosing not to speak to them for whatever reason, and she's choosing to still be there for R. Kelly. Um, if there was ever a time to leave R. Kelly, it would be now. So if she's not coming home now, then obviously, who's holding her? Who's holding her? We live in a world of social media. It ain't nothing but a text away. You tweet, "I need help," cryptic message like that. Everybody like, "Oh, that's girl that with R. Kelly. She need help. We need to go find her. We need to go save her." Ping, 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 ping. Easy. So the fact that she's still not coming home, she's still not being communicative, should let you know that it's not that she just don't want to have anything to do with the parents, because I don't feel like the parents are bad people. When you're a parent, you love your children. Your children don't even know how much you love them. They can't even fathom the sacrifices you already done and the sacrifices that you would even do. They can't even fathom the places that you would take yourself mentally, physically, in some sort of hell to make sure that they are aligned, bright, and shining. Because kids, they didn't ask to be here. But guess what? Parents ain't asked to be here too. I didn't ask to be here. You didn't ask to be here. At some point, kids become parents. Nobody asked to be here. But as a parent, it's something about being a parent. Your love, it just hit different. So the fact that she's not being communicative, even though the parents is trying, even though the parents is trying to do things to let her know, like, yo, you got back, you got support, it's okay to leave, we're here. But she is saying, I don't want to. This is where I want to be. And when you're dealing with grown kids, parents, you have to learn how to live your own life. Your kids will forever be your world. Forever. But they can't always be your life. It's impossible. Even if your kids, your grown kids, is with you 24/7, guess what? There's no way 24/7 your grown kids could be your life. You have to find your own life. They forever be your world, but they can't always be your life. You have to find happiness for yourself. You need to find a place where you exist just as an individual, not just a parent. Same thing for your children. Your children at some point need a space and a place to feel like they're an individual. They're not mama's child. They're not daddy's child. They're themselves as individuals. That's why when most kids, as they get older, parents and grown kids have to learn how to reconnect, because the relationship has changed. So you really have to learn how to respect each other and how to move and how to give each other space and not be overbearing. So this is a point in time where her parents have to understand that they might not just see her no more. And the thing is, they have to understand that's not on them. It's not on them. All you can do is your very best. That's why I have so much respect for my parents, because, again, I was close to both my parents. My father was more like my older brother. We argued all the time. But that's still my guy. I love that dude. My mom, she was a piece of work. But I love that woman. I would do anything for her. Did anything for her. But there was a space where I needed to find my own life, because at 17, 18 years old, I had my own daughter. Had to find my own. So as a kid back then, and now, well, not now, as I've been a damn adult, but I understand more so now the type of love that I have for my daughter, right? The type of sacrifice and understanding and reverting myself back as a as a teenager, where I'm trying to find my individuality as well. So they have to understand that, because the more it's going to be the easier is for her to be like, yeah, I'm cool, I'm cool. Because as parents, you like, it's not your job to be your children's friend. I'm not your friend. But when they become adults, you have to learn that there's some sort of there's a space where you have to not necessarily loosen the reins, but there's a space where it's just like, yo, they're their own individual. They don't necessarily have to listen to you. So, do you want to win or do you want to be close? I know parents ain't there's no book to parenting, but all you could do is do your best. So, all right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic: WNBA player and former Indiana Fever, DeWanna Bonner quits on the team after 7 games. DeWanna Bonner is known to be a really good basketball player. She's a really good scorer. She's like 6'3", 6'4", got her little bag and everything. Good player, but she's been on the Indiana Fever. She was starting at first. The minutes have gone down, and she doesn't feel like it's a good fit now. They saying this for personal reasons, but other people are saying that's close to the organization are saying that because she has children with another WNBA player, that she wants to be in a city near, her family. Um, I honestly, if that's the case, that's a cop out. Now, if she wants to leave for mental reasons and she's going through some sort of mental situation, then I understand that completely. You're going to be a detriment to the team. You're a detriment to yourself. But if you're leaving anything for any other reason, it's reckless, because you got paid to do a job. And based on this job, you've been in the league for a long time. And all the jobs that you signed that contract for, you completed. So now that after 12, 13-year career, now all of a sudden you're not dependable and doing your job. So I think it's a cop out. I honestly, if it's not mental related, I don't know if it's about the family. I don't know if it's about the fallen minutes. I don't know none of that for sure. All I know, if it's not about a mental capacity thing, having some sort of mental illness, then it doesn't fly with me. Because that's one thing about being an athlete, is that you have to be dependable. When you sign a contract, you're signing a contract of being dependable. This is why you're getting paid the way you're getting paid. Being a professional is about being dependable. So at the end of the day, this is very disheartening. And she's probably, and I believe she's about 14 points short from being the third all-time WNBA scoring in WNBA scoring. She's a great scorer. So I honestly think it's whack. If she ends up with another team, then obviously it's not for mental reasons. This is all ego. So I'm not jacking that. I wish this was on the Send 'Em to Turkey or not, because this definitely deserves Turkey vibes. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. New show, new movie drop, y'all. New movie, new show alert. So out in theaters right now. I'll probably go see it tomorrow myself. Megan 2.0. I've been talking about this movie for a little while now. I'm excited to go see this movie. The first one was pretty good. It was a bit clunky at first, but when it got to the kills, it got kind of fly. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking forward to seeing this movie. It looked like they're taking like a Terminator type vibe with this movie, so I'm looking forward to seeing it actually in theaters now. It came out today, so I'm gonna go check it out tomorrow. So make sure that I go tap in and see Megan 2.0. And new show dropped. A new show dropped. I just finished watching the first episode. Ironheart has dropped. I thought it was a movie, but it's a movie series that's out right now on Disney. I saw the first episode. It was, I don't want to say clunky. The episode was necessary and needed for introducing the characters, but they're gonna have to do a better job in showing why these characters are important. Um, so I'm gonna give the show some more time to cook. You know, when it's a new show, sometimes it just need more time to cook, and I understand it because there's a lot of intricate parts of a show, especially a Marvel show, because the characters has to be important. So, but make sure y'all take a look, take a watch to it. You know, I'm gonna be watching it further, so just letting y'all know that dropped as well. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic, NBA draft. The NBA draft was last night. Well, first round was last night. Second round was tonight. But the highlights of the NBA draft, real quick. Going number one overall, as anticipated, small forward Cooper Flag went number one to the Dallas Mavericks. I think that was a great move because you have veterans and you have your future. You got Kyrie Irving, you have Anthony Davis. If those guys are healthy, you throw Cooper Flag in there, a great young talent. Their core bench, reserve guys, they could really make some noise. They could really do some damage. Number two, went number overall was Dylan Harper. Went to the Spurs. I thought that was kind of crazy because I actually thought Brooklyn was going to end up with Dylan Harper because we had so many picks. And I'm really surprised because the Spurs already have a point guard and a two guard already with Frank Castle and goodness gracious, my boy from Sacramento, De'Aaron Fox. But they just took the best player available. So I thought Brooklyn was going to jump up. Brooklyn had 5 first-round picks, NBA history. NBA history had 5 first-round picks. I thought we was going to take at least 2 or 3 of those picks and move up to get Dylan Harper, and we did not do that. Number 5, Ace Bailey. Taking number 5 was Ace Bailey, which is Dylan Harper's former teammate. Went to the Jazz. Didn't seem excited about going to the Jazz, but he should because he's going to get an opportunity to play right away. And as any type of NBA player, any type of athlete, anytime you go to a new situation, you want to play right away, dog. So he's going to get the opportunity to do that. And why that's such a big deal is because he was actually supposed to go number 3 to Philly, but he refused to work out for Philly and a few other teams that he was trying to get to Washington. So Utah was one of the teams he did not work out for because he didn't want to go to Utah. And Utah called his bluff and like, yeah, we don't care about none of that, B. You coming over here, bro. So Ace Bailey is going to the Jazz, and again the Brooklyn Nets. We have 5 first-round picks. The word I would use for our draft is just flabbergasted. I like some of the players, but these are obviously developmental picks, in my opinion. Agan Demon, he's a guard, swing forward, 6'8", has a lot of point guard skills. I feel like we could have got him a little later, man. I really wanted the big man pause from Duke. I thought he would have been perfect for our team. A solid big man. In the East, you need a big. And pause. And he would have fit the bill for that. But we end up getting him. So they think the world of this guy, and I hope he turns out to be a great player. I hope he develops that. I hope he becomes everything that Ben Simmons wasn't for us, because Ben Simmons is 6'10", basically a point guard. This kid is 6'8". But the rest of the draft, again, was very interesting. We drafted 2 more point guards with those picks. Nolan Torre, 6'4". He kind of reminds me of like a young Russell Westbrook. He's fast. He's athletic. But he's not a great shooter, but he can score and get to that basket. Drake Powell, a 5-star freshman from North Carolina, has a lot of potential. 6'5", he's a 3-and-D guy. So I hope his potential pans out. My favorite pick of the draft was Ben Sheriff, 6'6" point guard. He kind of reminds me like a poor man's SGH. Like everything is easy for him. He gets his own basket, buckets. He could pass the ball as well. And then we finished it off with Danny Wolf, 7 foot center from Michigan. You know that's my school. But the common thread of what I'm seeing with all these picks is that these guys can pass the ball, all of them. All of these guys are not great shooters, but they could pass the ball. Um, and all these guys have height. Danny Wolf is 7 foot. Ben Sharif is a 6'6" point guard. Nolan Tarif is a 6'4" point guard. Drake Powell is a 6'5" guard, and Egon Demon is 6'8" point guard. So all of them know how to pass the ball very, very well. These are the best passers in the draft, and some of these guys could really create as well, and they could distribute. So that kind of gives me an idea of what we're looking to do with the foundation of our team, or guys that we're going to develop. Everybody has to be able to handle it. Everybody has to be able to pass, and so I'm getting that. But obviously, these picks we're not expecting them to be all stars next year. So this is going to be a real rebuilding process, and that's one thing I can't say about my Brooklyn Nets. We develop guys really well. We really do. So I'm expecting these guys to be. I expect them to be good. I expect them to be good. During the draft, I was flabbergasted. I had no words. So I'm going to reserve judgment. And we also got Terrence Mann in the trade from the Pelicans. Again, will be great for our depth. Great attitude. He has a Brooklyn mentality. So I think he'll be great for our team. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. This is my last question of the hot topics. This is a question, y'all. Again, let me know what y'all think in the chat. Why is there so much disrespect among the culture today? Please let me know what y'all think in the chat. Please. Why is there so much disrespect among the culture? And what I mean by that is this. I see on too many occasions in social media where man and woman, man and man, woman and woman, we really don't know how to treat each other. We don't know how to talk to each other. We can't even disagree and still be cool. Because here's my thing about this. It's like when you put stuff on social media, you put it on social media for fair game. If you put it out, people have the right to say their piece. And when they say their piece, it's either going to be positive or it's going to be negative. If you can accept a positive, you have to be able to accept a negative, especially when you put it out there. Nobody held a gun to your head for you to put whatever you put out there. But just within the culture, based on what we see and how we interact with each other, it's very demeaning, and it's not helping us being able to communicate with each other with any type of decency and any type of respect. Like, I've seen older women in the culture try to give leadership and correction to the younger women in the culture. The younger women in the culture would respond with, "Oh, you old, you a hag. What are you telling me this anyway? You're not relevant. You're not this. You're not that." But this person done went through it already. So they have a perspective that you need to get you up out of this, so that way you don't hit that wall. I see it with some of the guys, because for the most part, us as men, we have a different outlook when an OG tell us something, because most older men, they see themselves in us, pause, and that's why the younger guys have a better understanding to receive that, right? Like if I give game to somebody younger than me, a younger man, I see myself in him, pause. Like I seen myself making the same decisions that he made or was about to make. And be like, yo, bro, I know you're about to do this, but yo, I know you're different than me. Your experience could be different, but this is a big possibility of happening. If this happens, what is that going to do for you? Is that going to set you back, or is that going to move you forward? So, but just as a whole, there's still a lot of discourse within the culture. Man to man, woman to woman, woman to man. And at some point, when are we going to learn to have decency for each other? So that's something that all in itself that has been like mind-boggling to me. I just can't put my finger on it. Like I spoke about last episode, where a young lady in New York City was walking past a guy, cut him off, and he said, well, at least you could have said, excuse me. And her response was, what? And basically, she said her, her 1-2, and then she threw a drink in his face. Threw a drink in his face. That drink could have had, herpes or whatever in that damn cup. But just the disrespect to think that you could pull that. You have that much hatred for people that look like you, come from your same neighborhood, that you disrespect them, and then when he call you on that disrespect, you throw a drink in his face. He says it again. He really held on to his composure. You could have said excuse me, and she punched him in the face. That would never be okay. Never. So again, no decency, no respect. And we're seeing it too many times within our culture. And when is it going to stop? Where is it a place where we're going to respect each other? Because it's all in spaces, right? We live in a world when you respect somebody, you can have a difference of opinion of them, right? And you can still agree to disagree, right? You can still be like, yo, I still mess with you, but I disagree with you on this. Right? And you don't have to be weird or loud or timid when you say it. You could just say it straight up. Whereas there's decency and when there's respect. But it's like we don't have that no more. Like I see that where we have brothers going to other communities, and other brothers say, yo, where you from, bro? Oh, I'm from over here. Why you over here then? What you mean why I'm over here? I'm over here. Like, I don't understand that. You don't do that to everybody else, but you do that to the people that look like you. And we're the only culture that does it. Like, I've never seen a white dude somewhere else and another white dude be like, hey, man, where you from? I'm from over here. What you doing over here? Did you get a pass? Pass? What? But we do that in our culture. Or as a culture. Indecency, disrespect. When is it going to stop? So I had to ask that question because we see it all the time and it's too prevalent in our communities. At some point, when is it going to stop? Even when we say something against each other, like I said something against you, but I'm not your adversary. I'm saying it because you put it out here. I'm saying it because just like how I would give you a compliment, I'm going to give you a critique. And based on what you put out, now you're mad because I spoke on something that's out for the world. But we only do that to each other. Like, it's just so weird and it's so detrimental. It's like, how can we communicate for real if we can't just call it? And if you don't want it to be called, then don't put it out. It's just that simple. Don't put it out. So that's one thing I just don't understand that we do as a culture. All right, y'all, moving on to our last segment of the night, our Keep the Lie Alive segment. My Keep the Lie Alive for this episode is learn how to speak as an individual. Learn how to speak as an individual. What I mean by that is this. Whatever your experience is, let your experience be your experience. You can't speak for everybody else. Now, if everybody else is saying it, then that's one thing. But if that's not my experience, then you can't say, yo, we went through this, right? No, you went through that. I say this because I knew a person that used to come to a place of business, and me and my dad would be there. And this person would be like, yo, it's cool to see you and your dad, that dynamic. You got the father and the son, y'all mad close. That's dope, man. He said, man, we lucky to have our fathers in our life, man. Like, they are superheroes. And I'm like, no, no, no. No, no, no. I'm very lucky. I was very lucky to have my dad in my life. See him back here with my mom, right? Very lucky to have him in my life. Very lucky to learn what I learned from my dad. Wasn't my superhero, though. Wasn't my superhero. My father raised me to be the man that he wanted to be. So all the mistakes that he felt like he made in his life, he put everything in me, pause, to be a better version or the best version of myself. So everything that you see is a lot of things that my father wanted to do, wanted to be, wanted to pursue, everything. Now, there's other things that my father accomplished that he poured into me. And there's certain things that my father accomplished that I didn't accomplish. I have no thought to accomplishing it because that's his accomplishment. But he wasn't my superhero. But I learned so much from him. I never depended on my dad to protect me. So he can't be my superhero. But he was definitely one of my teachers, one of my biggest teachers. Both him, my mom, and the community in itself. But without a doubt, my father is my biggest teacher. Without a doubt. Not my superhero. It wasn't things that my father did that I was like, I wish I can do that. But like I said, because he raised me to be the man that he wanted to be, he put all that in me to do all the things that he wanted to do that he couldn't do or that wouldn't do or didn't get a chance to do it. If he had to do it all over again, he would do that. Same thing if I had a son. If I have a son, I don't want him to be in awe of me. Any and everything that I accomplish, I want him to exceed it. I want him to say like, damn, dad is doing his work, but I could do what dad do. And I could do it better. When he was speaking, he was like, yeah, dad was my superhero. And, he was, he always took up for my fights and battles. We lucky that we had dads to really like take up for us, right? Nah. I grew up different, bro. My father was there, but I did the fighting. My father fought his fights, and I fought my fights. At some point, I was protecting my family at a very young age. Obviously, he didn't understand what I was talking about. So again, learn how to speak as an individual. Just because something is similar doesn't make it the same. And I had to tell him that too. I said, I'm lucky to have my dad in my life, but he's never been my superhero. He's been my teacher. And that carried with me more than everything because it's still in me. Pause. So shout out to my pop. Shout out to Roland Johnson. May he rest in peace. It's a hell of a guy. Hell of a guy. But that's my keep the lie alive for this episode. Again, learn how to speak as an individual. Let your experience be your experience. Y'all, I want to thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. I appreciate y'all. 110 toes down, man. I want y'all to hit them likes and them 100s, them likes and them 100s in the chats and some hearts as well. I appreciate y'all hands down every episode. This is the Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. We're on every Thursday, every Sunday at 10:30 without fail. You understand me? Whether I got a haircut or not. As y'all can see, I don't got no haircut. But I'm going to be here holding it down each and every episode. I want to thank some of the sponsors of the show. I want to thank Button Snaps. I want to thank Bravo Section. And I want to thank OUV Records. Again, if you're interested in becoming one of the sponsors of the show, you can hit me on Instagram at Ashley Lovechild. So if you're interested in being a serious host, a serious sponsor of the show, one of the serious sponsors of the show, you can hit me up on Instagram. Again, I appreciate you for that, Paul, man. Great show. Appreciate you for that, man. Again, continue to support the show. Like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, and share. We got over 350 rewatchable videos of this podcast on this channel, on the Ashley Lovechild channel. So again, make sure you tap into the rewatches. Those videos got a whole bunch of shorts to tap into as well. It's a lot of content. So make sure y'all tap in. Again, we're on every Thursday, every Sunday without fail at 10:30. Also, again, I want to thank y'all for supporting my new EP, Winners Loyalty, on every single music platform right now. Wherever you listen to music, my new EP, Winners Loyalty, is on there right now. 6 songs of fire, true hip hop. So make sure y'all tap in. We also got some more announcements coming up. We're working on putting together some events coming up, so be on the lookout for that as well. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little over 11,000 subscribers. So again, y'all, continue to support the podcast by just hitting that like, hitting that subscribe, that all notification. Also tap into the membership portion in the page. Different memberships are granted different access. So again, thank y'all for y'all support. It's invaluable to this pod. We appreciate it. So again, I want to thank y'all for the bottom of my heart. My voice is cracking a little bit, but y'all already know the vibe, man. It's always love, and I thank y'all for tapping in. Again, we're on this Sunday at 10:30. Also, we're gonna add an Instagram portion of the Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast every Friday, and we'll probably start at 7. So make sure, again, tap into Ashley Lovechild, tap into Can the Brothers Get a Rap on Fridays as well, only because, again, we're having an issue that we never had prior before with my normal co-host. For some reason, we've been lagging when we've been on together. And for some reason, when we're on Instagram, we're not lagging at all. So we just think it's the platform. And we've done over 100 and something episodes where we never lag at all. So I don't understand what's going on with YouTube. But we're going to continue to give y'all this good show, good vibe, good talk, great energy. All right, y'all, I'm going to get up out of here. Again, you can tap in on Instagram at Ashley Lovechild or TikTok. I'm everywhere, man. So make sure, again, y'all show that love. Y'all already know what time it is, man. It's love. And I'll see y'all next time at 10:30. We out.